They pumped wet concrete into my drainage canal, so I turned their project into a demolition zone. They say trouble doesn't always knock. Sometimes it flows. It was a quiet Monday morning when I stepped outside and heard a strange sloshing sound, like someone dumping buckets of thick mud down a metal chute. My property sits beside an old municipal drainage canal, a narrow channel that has kept my land dry for years. But that morning, the water wasn't moving. It was rising, slowly, like something was clogging it from inside. I followed the noise. At the far end of the canal, a massive pump truck from Red Hawk Construction sat parked sideways. A worker held the hose, blasting wet concrete straight into the canal as if it were an empty ditch. "Hey, what are you doing?" I shouted. The foreman didn't even look up. "City order. Canal's being filled. We're on a deadline." Except there was one problem. The canal wasn't city property. It was mine. My grandfather dug that channel 50 years ago. The deed still showed it as private drainage infrastructure. Without it, my entire acreage floods ankle deep after the first rain. "Who signed off on this?" I asked. He smirked. "Your neighbor, guy named Harlan Mace, said the canal was abandoned. Harlan Mace lives 2 houses down and hates me because my property blocks the shortcut he wants to build for his future guest house entrance." I pulled out my phone. The canal water was now almost gray, thick, swirling, foaming. Wet concrete was already hardening along the edges like a growing tumor. One more minute and it would be irreversible. I dialed Harlan. He picked up with his usual smug confidence. "Yeah, I approved it," he said. "The city needs space for the stormwater reroute. You weren't using that old ditch anyway." "I own that ditch." "Well, not anymore. According to the form I signed, you transferred." I hung up. There was no point arguing with someone who lies as easily as breathing. I ran to the construction truck and snapped photos. License plate, pump controls, concrete batch number, everything. The foreman stepped in front of me. "You can't take pictures." I stepped around him. "You can't fill a private canal." By the time I got back home, the concrete had set into a thick slab. The entire drainage channel was dead. My property flooded exactly as I feared, water pushing up against my barn, swirling through the gravel, drowning the lower yard. Harlan watched from his porch, smiling. That was the moment the switch flipped inside me. No yelling, no threats, just precision. I hired a civil water flow assessor, a state-licensed hydrology inspector, a forensic engineer specializing in illegal concrete placement, and an attorney from a firm known for destroying fraudulent land permits. By midweek, we had the truth. The city never approved the project. Harlan forged a temporary right-of-way consent form. Red Hawk Construction violated 6 environmental codes. And worst of all, the concrete had diverted stormwater directly toward my home, putting my property at risk of structural damage. The county froze Harlan's permit applications. Red Hawk was ordered to cease all operations until investigation. But that wasn't the part I wanted. I wanted the concrete gone. At sunrise Thursday, I walked outside and heard the sound that healed everything. A jackhammer, then another, then another. The county ordered Red Hawk to demolish every inch of concrete they pumped, not with machines, but by hand, to prevent cracking the canal walls. 14 workers, 3 straight days, no shortcuts. Harlan tried to protest until he received the penalty, a $92,000 environmental diversion fine, plus $1,200 per hour for the labor required to restore my canal. When they finished, the county engineer came to me personally. "We'll be installing a permanent retaining grid," he said, "at Harlan's expense. You won't flood again. Tonight, the canal flows clear, steady and strong, like nothing ever happened. But Harlan, his wallet will remember forever. What should the workers have used to remove the concrete? Jackhammers or shovels? Tell me in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories.